any intervention from the United States Supreme Court would stop the gerrymandered districts in central Washington from moving forth. So if you follow the show, we talked about it last week. It was also the topic of our Sundays with Subscribers episode a couple days ago. So there was a redistricting, which has to happen, right? You got changing populations in places. So you have this bipartisan redistricting commission that meets. They came out with the new district lines. And then there was a lawsuit suggesting that some of these central Washington districts in like the Yakima area, that they were created in a way that split the Hispanic vote. And it was a violation of the Voter Rights Act. And the weird thing about it was that one of the state senators who, in this effort to, help Hispanic voters, she lost her seat. She's going to lose her seat, State Senator Nikki Torres, because when this lawsuit happened, a judge sided with the argument that the way the redistricting commission had done these districts was going to hurt Hispanic voters. So he approved, these new district lines, which are going to redistrict out the first ever Hispanic state senator. Why? Well, because she happens to be a Republican. So apparently, when you're talking about Hispanic voters being able to get representation, apparently like a Republican Latina is not the kind of representation they were thinking of. So from the Washington State Standard, federal appeals court will not block Washington's redrawn legislative district map. The three-judge panel's decision means new boundaries approved on March 15th under this lawsuit will be in place for this year's elections, but opponents can keep fighting the changes. So basically, the judge makes this decision based on the lawsuit, redraws these districts in a way that redistricts out this Latina state senator who's a Republican. And then there's an appeal to the federal appellate court, and they decide, look, we're going to let this continue to move forward for this year's election. So the only possible reprieve at this point would be the United States Supreme Court. I'll get to a statement from the Senate Minority Leader John Braun in a moment, but I mentioned this Latina state senator, Nikki Torres, and she actually joined us this past Sunday on Sundays with Subscribers.
We kind of had an inkling that the judge was going with that map, and he did. He definitely did. And he said that it was because of the Voting Rights Act and Latino Civic Alliance. This is a mockery of the Voting Rights Act. It has nothing to do with giving the people a voice. This is actually taking away their voice. These new maps, they actually dilute the Latino vote. They don't increase it. They make it lower. It was at 52%, the way it is right now in this current 15th. But in the new map, the 3B map, which becomes the new 14th legislative district, it actually lowers that down to about 50.5 or 51%.
But given that you had this, 70% district with Latinos that elected you, I mean, how are they reacting to it?
A lot are reaching out to me, and those that are considered more moderate are reaching out and saying, this is baloney, this is wrong. You let me know what I can do to help. So I've had people just message me on LinkedIn, on social media, different social media platforms, just saying, hey, how can I help? Because they don't like that at all. And they can see right through it. They're like, wait, what? I thought they were just wanting Latino representation. Now it's shifting to be, oh no, preferred candidate of choice is a code for Democrat, because obviously the wrong Latina was elected.
Yeah,
or the wrong type of Latina.
Right. Do you think it has, Latina, the wrong type of Latina, not a Democrat. Do you think, though, it could have blowback for Democrats, for them to say, oh, you had a Latina, but it's not the right type of Latina, so we've, pushed for this map that's going to give us maybe a Democrat Latino?
I think it will give them some blowback, because if I'm not able to run for whatever reason to keep my seat, then I think they will get quite a bit of blowback, because I've been able to work successfully across the aisle and collaborate with the other side on bills. I mean, I had 10 bills make it off the Senate floor this year, and unfortunately only 4 are getting signed, but it's still a good number, but they were all bipartisan bills. All of my bills were. And you need to be able to work across the aisle. And that is important. And if they're thinking that, oh, we just want a supermajority because we don't want to have to work with anyone across the aisle, that's not democracy.
No, it's not. You can watch that full interview by becoming a subscriber, undividedpod.com, undividedpod.com. That's State Senator Nikki Torres, who I guess is going to be in her seat for another 2 years. And then what? I don't know. She has to move to try to run for something. So just a really frustrating situation overall. And look, you know, when there's redistricting, there's bound to be some angst. You're moving lines and all this stuff, and you're going to have both parties who are like, meh, 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 and they want it to be, they're always going to want the best outcome for them, right? And that's why you've got this bipartisan redistricting commission that's supposed to be do the best possible job it can. But I think when you look at this, it's just, I fail to see how a judge could say that in the interest of honoring the Hispanic vote and not splitting it apart, that you would split it in a way that ousts a state senator who's a first-generation American, a Latina. That makes no sense to me. I just can't understand it. So State Senator John Braun said in a statement, he was not mincing words, using Judge Lansick's maps for elections is nothing but judicial gerrymander. Let's be absolutely clear what this is all about. These maps give Democrats a plus 14 district in central Washington. This has nothing to do with increasing Hispanic power. This increases Democratic power. These gerrymandered maps push 3 Republican senators out of their districts, and I believe 2 Republican representatives. Of course, no Democrat legislators were affected. We can only hope that at some point the United States Supreme Court will right the wrong that has been done in this process. And even Democratic talking heads and political watchers were online saying, oh, this is great for Democrats. So it's like, yeah, of course it is. As Senator Braun points out, you were only displacing Republicans. And so this is about Democrats trying to achieve what the state Democratic Party chair, Shasti Conrad, said a few months ago. Remember? She said, with supermajorities, I can clean up the state constitution. My goal for 2026. So they want to get to supermajorities so they can, I don't know, what they would take out of the Constitution, our right to initiative and referendum. What other things do they want to clean up in our state constitution? So it's scary stuff. And it's honestly, as I was saying to Senator Torres, it's kind of offensive for, you know, Democrats believe that they've got like the Hispanic vote and the black vote on lock. And if they continue to believe that, they're going to be in for a rude awakening. I mean, Nikki Torres was elected by a majority Hispanic district. She's a Republican. She said that her message on public safety and taxation really resonated with that base. And now it's like, well, she's gone. She's Hispanic, but she didn't support the policies that we supported. So I wonder if that's going to have a little bit of a blowback.